Hare Krishna. This is vlog number 2. My wife has encouraged me to do some vlogging, and I've done one so far. This is my second one, and I'm just speaking off the top of my mind. Right now, it's such a crazy time in the world, with the coronavirus, where right now, at the time of recording this, the world is on lockdown. There's a lot of uncertainty in the world. There's a lot of fear in the atmosphere. There's social unrest going on. There was the killing of George Floyd and everything that's going on with that right now. The Black Lives Matter movement is big, and of course there's counter movements and this movement and that movement, and it seems like everybody's offended or has a cause or something like this. And there's also brutality. There was the murder of the elephant that ate the pineapple. There was a killing of some swamis in India that were brutally murdered. There was, I saw a cow, someone put some firecrackers in a cow's mouth, and the whole bottom jaw of the cow was, exploded, and the cow obviously perished. So it's a crazy time right now. Having said that, I do want to also give a message of hope, because there's a lot of people that are also thriving. I want to talk about a little bit about what I'm doing, because I really feel like I'm thriving right now, and I want to share some things that I'm doing that might be able to help you and support you. So first of all, if you've been following this channel for any amount of time, you know that I'm big into the semen retention lifestyle. That's definitely, if you're a man and you're watching this, you got to be on that, because that's going to help you thrive. It's going to help you become a powerful man. And right now, this world needs real leadership, like real leadership. And to be a leader means you have to be able to think for yourself. You can't just be watching something and being like jumping on every bandwagon that comes past. And I think that's what's happening, is that people don't know who they are, and because they don't know who they are, and I'm not talking about they don't know who they are, a mother or father. I'm talking about they don't realize that they are so much greater than this body and this mind and all of their identities: mother, father, son, whatever, president, homeless, all the labels that we have. Of course, these things are real, and I'm not diminishing those things, but there's a deeper essence to who we are. And I find that because people don't really know who they are, just anything that gets put in front of them, they jump on board. They're just so badly searching for something to latch onto, like to something to have some security. But one thing that's really helped me in my life is my spiritual path, and realizing that nothing out here is secure. Nothing that you're going to latch onto out here is going to give you real everlasting peace, because everything in this material world is always shifting. Everything in this material world is changing. And right now, the world is going through a tremendous amounts of turmoil, but I think that it's a good thing in the long term. Now, when I'm saying it's a good thing, I'm not talking about individual things that are happening. I'm talking at a very large perspective. I love the movie, The Prince of Egypt, where there's that song, you got to look at your life through heaven's eyes. And one of the reasons that I feel like I'm thriving is because I strive to look at my life through heaven's eyes, or through Krishna's eyes. And, Krishna or God has a plan. And sometimes we can't understand that plan, because we're really small, minute little specks of dust on this planet. We're so puffed up in our ego. We think we're so important. We think we have all this significance. And you can see everybody's trying to be important. That's why we want to belong to movements and belong to this and belong to that. But why do we have to strive to belong to anything? We already belong. We're already part and parcel of the spiritual body, Krishna, God. See, once someone becomes God realized, there's no more striving to belong. What are you trying to belong to? You already belong. There's no more striving to get anywhere. You're simply just exuberant because you're alive. You're like, wow, look at this. I've got this body and I've got this mind. And these are tools and vehicles that I can use to experience, to serve, to become greater in life, to evolve. If evolution doesn't mean getting a bigger house, evolution means evolving our consciousness. And once someone really takes to the spiritual path, it truly helps them be able to handle the way the world is going right now. So while there's so many things that are going on in the world, and there's so many people talking about those things, I want to share that the spiritual path can help you thrive. This process of Krishna consciousness, or maybe you take to the Christian path or the Buddhist path or whatever path makes sense for you. personally I encourage and you know, because it's done wonders for me, is the path of Krishna consciousness. When you take the spiritual path, you start to reevaluate your values. The world no longer becomes a scary place. You become empowered, and you recognize that ultimately you are alive, and this very thing of being alive is something to be grateful for. You know, we get caught up in all this other stuff and we forget the very basics of life. It wasn't that long ago that we didn't have YouTube and we didn't have all this technology and we couldn't stream and binge watch Netflix and all of this stuff. It was only, you know, 100, 150 years ago, if that, we didn't even have lights. So we've come a far way, but we've come only a far way in technology. And what's happened now is basically everybody is super empowered with this technology, but consciousness hasn't become a forefront. And that's ultimately what needs to become a forefront for yourself and for the world as a whole. I want to also just share, when you're looking at some of the things that I keep myself away from, I keep myself away from too much news. You know, obviously I know highlights of what's going on in the world, but I don't sit there and watch it and consistently consume it, because that's still not going to do anything. You know, if you watch 15 minutes of the news and get informed of what's happening, great. But you also have to recognize that the news is bias. These big companies, these big corporations, they have an agenda. They're not just giving you the news. They're giving you their spin on the news. They're purposely creating a hype or a frenzy. They have an agenda. And maybe that agenda might not be too clear, but you want to know that there is an agenda. So you should take everything with a bit of a grain of salt. You got to use your intelligence. So you can stay informed, but don't binge watch this stuff. Don't get caught up in it. Focus on you, focus on your family, focus on your life. I'm sure your life already has presented you with enough challenges that you don't need, if it's not directly infecting you, you don't need to, you know, spend too much time with it. A second thing that I'm doing is really focusing on developing positive habits. Good habits, you know, getting up early, my meditation sadhana, my spiritual practice, focusing on my health, focusing on developing my own consciousness by, you know, reading, for instance, you know, I read every day from the Bhagavad Gita by Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master in the Hare Krishna order. Spending time with family, you know, cultivating relationships, and putting my passion into things that I love to do. I love making these videos. I love speaking. I love sharing the message of the Vedic knowledge. So I focus on the things that bring me joy and the things that light up my soul and light up my spirit. Focus on the things that light up your soul and spirit. What are your gifts? What are your talents? Go out in the world and use those. And I mean, doesn't mean you have to go and fly around the world or do anything crazy. Simply just start to engage in your life with a level of attention and focus, and you'll notice that things become better for you. Wherever your energy, wherever your focus goes, energy flows. Wherever energy flows, it's bound to grow. And that means if we're all plugged into negative things, actually we're feeding that. So I'm not saying ignore it, be informed, but then do something positive. And when you're engaging in positive activities, then you're actually making a difference. And the other thing that I'm doing that's really working for me to thrive is continuing to you know, get better at the skill sets that I've already got. So I really like to speak and I like to do these videos, and we strive to do it better and better. When you're improving in something, in anything, when you notice, oh, I'm getting better and I'm growing, there is a natural passion and exuberance that comes from that. And there's a lot of growth. And when you're growing and you feel fulfilled by serving others and using your talents to help others, then when you're fulfilled, literally the word means full, and you're filled. So therefore, you're not like some kind of empty person that's just going to grasp onto something that comes your way. That's why marketing works so well. Marketing works so well because people are empty inside. And because they're empty inside, they wave something, some brand name that says, hey, if you have this brand, it's going to make you something in the world. And you see people create all kinds of havoc to go and get this brand. Or if you drive this car, or if you wear this clothes, or if you watch this movie, or if you're somehow in the know, that makes you something. Well, only somebody who doesn't feel like they're something wants to be something. When you're full and you're filled, you don't strive for anything because you're already full and filled. What are you striving for? You're simply just engaging in things that you want to engage in. All right? So you want to do things that fulfill you. And the ultimate fulfillment, in my experience, is having a relationship with God. Because as I said earlier, nothing in this material world is actually going to satisfy you. This material body, it's all temporary. Right? Eventually, this is going to go, right? Even if you have sex, eventually sex got to stop. Got to go do something else. Even if you eat a nice meal, you can't eat forever, right? Right? You're going to have to do something else. If you simply engage in sense activities, trying to please the senses all the time, then ultimately you'll realize that you're becoming empty inside. And the way to fill yourself back up is to reestablish your relationship with Krishna, reestablish your relationship with God, reestablish proper values in your life. And when you reestablish proper values in your life, you'll feel for yourself, oh wow, I'm full, I'm filled. So therefore, what does a full and filled person do? They start thinking about others. Because why would I think about myself? I'm already full, I'm filled. Now I can think about others and help them get full and filled. And in that way, you begin to take on service. And service is what really makes you thrive in this world. So that's my second vlog. I hope you enjoyed my rant and my thoughts. And even if you didn't, thanks for watching. You can leave comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. How are you dealing with this time? And please, I invite you to check out my website and check out some of the programs and classes and speaking engagements that I've got coming up. I've got free resources for you. I'm doing everything that I can to be of service to you. So take advantage of it. All right, sending you all my love and well wishings. Namaste. Amen. Hare Krishna.